Hey, it's Kish.
And it's Roland here.
And we're from Porygon Tube, and we are back with round 5 action of the Box Hill League Challenge. So, in this round, we are featuring Michael on the right, playing Yveltal Garbodor, versus Erin on the left, playing her Dewgong Slowking Disruption Mill deck. So both these players have done very well so far this tournament. Michael's 2-0-2 at this point, and Erin is 2-1-1. So both in a shot, both have a shot at getting points in this event. So definitely all to play for in this final round. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring you the top tables in this round, but nonetheless, this is still a great matchup and an interesting deck from Erin. Roland, any comments?
Yeah, so I mean the deck sort of seems like it's I'm not an expert with it certainly, but seems like it's more sort of focused on deck out than it is sort of around taking prizes. So Dewgong has that first attack. Most people probably wouldn't even know what it does. So for a water energy, it does 20 damage. If you flip a coin, if heads, the defending Pokemon's paralyzed. If tails, the defending Pokemon's asleep. So it sort of feels like it's more for sort of buying time than it is for, it seems unlikely that with 20 damage, sort of you'd be able to really take 6 prizes that way. But yeah, and so in addition to sort of playing sort of mill cards like Bunnelby and Team Rocket's Handiwork, which is a supporter card that was released relatively recently, in addition to that, we've also got sort of Slowking is another disruption card. So Slowking has the ability Royal Flash, where if you can play it, so you can use the ability just once during your turn, and if you flip a coin, if heads, you get to move an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to a bench Pokemon.
Yep.
So it's quite disruptive in just moving energy to where your opponent doesn't want.
Yeah. So say there's a Shaman or something on the bench, or a Garbodor, then you can just Slowking away all their active.
Yeah, although the Garbodor would have to not have a tool.
Of course.
Yeah, but absolutely. Yeah, that's
or a Trubbish. Sorry. But of course Garbodor does shut off that.
Yeah, and that's one of the interactions that we're going to see here. So Michael's Yveltal Garbless obviously plays Garbodor. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Yveltal Garb. So that's probably going to come into play and shut off Slowking at some point. But Erin might be able to get some mileage out of it before he does get it out. It is quite disruptive.
Yeah, and depending on how good Michael's opening hand is, he might be forced to dig with Shamans and things like that, which of course Erin's deck seems to be focused around trying to mill out your opponent, so that'll be good from her point of view. Does she get down a Seal on the first turn? I think she does, and she's got a Float Stone on the Slowpoke, so pretty good start from her point of view.
Yeah, that's a solid start.
Especially because Dewgong only needs 1 energy to attack, so of course it does have a second attack for a water and 3 colorless. I believe it does 100 damage, so
yeah,
I don't think she'll be using that.
Yeah, not the most energy efficient attack. You really just want to be using that first attack. Actually, Michael is playing that Oblivion Wing Yveltal. That could really help him get extra energy out. If they get discarded with hammers and the like.
Yep.
Without it, Yveltal Garb can actually be somewhat vulnerable to energy disruption. It does sort of rely on double colorless to really get that damage with Yveltal EX. And, you've got to think that Erin, I think, we're seeing a hand plays Enhanced Hammer? Yeah, no, it's Crushing Hammer, but probably plays Enhanced Hammer as well, and plays that Slowking. So, without that sort of Oblivion Wing Yveltal, could theoretically run out of energy and lead to a deck out situation.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a big card in this matchup, that Oblivion Wing Yveltal.
Yeah, and I suppose one of the main point of synergy, which probably I glossed over, is that Slowking is something that you get to play, you get to use every turn, and the more turns you can get to use it, the better it is. And Dewgong stalls out your opponent. So let's just say, even if the damage isn't relevant, let's just say you manage to paralyze your opponent or keep them asleep for a few turns in a row. That gives you all these turns to use Royal Flash from Slowking to move your opponent's energy to Pokemon that they don't want to. So it's sort of, Dewgong sort of makes the game more drawn out, which means that for any given Slowking, you get more value out of it.
Yep. So definitely...
Michael's gone ahead and discarded a lot of cards.
So
he used 2 Ultra Balls.
Yep. Discarded a Garbodor. I think he's just used the 1 Ultra Ball, but he played down a Parallel City, facing the red side towards Erin. So Dewgong going to be doing 0 damage on Michael's Oblivion Wing Yveltal. I don't think that's going to be super relevant.
Yeah, I mean, so it's doing 20 damage. Well, that just means it's getting a 90 KO instead. So probably not a huge deal, But look, I mean, eventually threatening a knockout on this Oblivion Wing Yveltal could, help that situation of discarding all his energy. So it could be relevant. Not sure if Erin plays, counter stadiums probably does. Probably even plays like Delinquent.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Yeah. So Michael plays
does
an
get the-
Yveltal
Yeah,
EX.
it does get the Trubbish and the
Trubbish and
Yveltal
then a
EX.
Shaman for 3 or 4. So it's not a... That Oblivion Wing Yveltal is not a common card nowadays in the Yveltal
No,
Garb
it
deck.
is. It used to be,
Yeah.
basically every well, depending on the format you're talking about, you
Yeah.
know, the Yveltal decks almost always played that Oblivion Wing Yveltal, but nowadays it is a little different.
Yeah.
Most of us probably don't
And
even
I
play
think it could be a big swinging factor.
Oh,
in this
speaking of
match.
Delinquent, we do see it
Um,
in Erin's hand.
So Erin Crushing Hammers gets a Tails. Again, probably not too relevant because of that Oblivion Wing Yveltal. So she versus Seekers and gets a N and plays it straight away. So from her point of view, she'll probably just want to knock that energy off that Oblivion Wing Yveltal onto the Trubbish. It's probably going to be the least valuable.
Yeah,
target.
you've got to think.
Yeah.
So fortunately, Dewgong is actually it's relatively durable against
Mhm.
Yveltal EX. I mean, particularly for a non-EX, Yveltal is going to need 4 energy on it.
Yeah.
To knock out a Dewgong with 1 energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, that combined with hand disruption could mean Dewgong maybe even lives.
Yep.
Two turns every time.
Yeah. And so we see the evolution into the Slowking, so we will see a Royal Flash this turn. Let's see. And it's a Tails,
Yeah, unlucky.
unfortunately.
Yeah, missing the hammer and that. Oh, plays another hammer?
So she gets
heads
the heads this time. Probably going to discard off the active, I would think. Yep, and she does. So, with that Dewgong, that Dewgong's attack, basically it means 75% of the time your opponent will be asleep or paralyzed.
Going into their turn. Yeah, so you've got a 50% chance of paralysis and
Yeah.
you've got a 50% chance of putting them to sleep, which
Yeah.
then means they have a further 50% chance of either staying asleep or waking up.
If they don't play escape ropes or switches or Olympias, it can mean they get stalled, and that's when the Slowking and the milling cards like Bunnelby and Team Rocket's Handiwork really shine. So we'll see if Erin can get her set up before Michael overwhelms her board, because at this stage she's just got the one Slowking and the one Dewgong. So Michael, on his turn, he'll probably just be looking for an energy really to Oblivion Wing.
Plays a Delinquent. That's interesting. So discards his Paralysity.
Oh, and he actually delinquents
to 0.
Erin to 0.
Ouch.
That is going to be a huge swing in this matchup, I think. Erin going to be relying on top decks, and Michael does get the energy down onto the Oblivion Yveltal, so he will be getting off an Oblivion Wing and powering up the bench to Yveltal EX, and he even finds the Floatstone for the Trubbish. So pretty nice turn from Michael here.
Yeah, so that Slowking has 30 on it, so
it has 100 hit points.
Yeah.
So
it'll only take 2 more Oblivion Wings to knock it out. Although Erin may decide to sort of send up the Dewgong.
Mm-hmm. She just needs an energy. And
I
guess that's the benefit for her. If she does get an energy, she can potentially stall for a little while until she draws into what she needs.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably not too concerned if you don't draw something immediately, as long as you can stall it out.
Yeah.
But Michael could always draw into a switch or an escape rope or something like that.
And so we see the Garbodor come down, so no more Royal Flashes, and we see a Puzzle of Time.
Puzzle of Time, yeah. So Puzzle of Time.
Unfortunately, she had one Puzzle of Time followed by another one, so
ouch.
she might have seen if she sycamored that turn or something 2 Puzzles of Time, which is always nice, but maybe not too relevant. So
and it's probably good touching on sort of why you would play Puzzle of Time in a deck like this, and it's to get back those sort of niche trainers like Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, any of those sort of cards.
And she actually retreats to the Dewgong, which is a little bit interesting.
Yeah,
because the Slowking's not really doing a lot when the Garbodor is
interesting.
in play.
Yeah, so once obviously that Garbodor, and unfortunately for her, once that Garbodor comes out with the tool, not really sure that she has a way of really
knocking it out.
Yeah, knocking it out, or otherwise, there's no tool removal in the format, so you basically have to knock it out to get rid of it.
Yeah, unless she's playing like something like a Beedrill EX or something.
Which
can double scrapper
possible,
2 tools. But so we see a Trainer's Mail, big surprise, considering she puzzled last turn.
Yes.
So
okay, Team Flagon, but
finds a Flare Grunt.
Yeah, it just seems like without that sort of Royal Flash disruption, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. So I think that Delinquent was pretty big from Michael. That Yveltal has got 4 energy on it, so straight away it's hitting for 100 damage. And given that Erin's Pokemon haven't got a huge amount of HP, it's going to start sweeping her board pretty soon. And Michael finds another energy for another Oblivion Wing, and now with 5 energy on that Yveltal EX, that's one-shotting everything in Erin's deck, I think.
Yeah,
So,
it will be.
And there we see a Sycamore off the top, so we've got a game on our hands now. So Erin just wanting a water energy, probably. Can't imagine she'll want anything else just to try and stall a little bit.
Yeah.
So see a trainer's mail. What does she get? And Michael, for his part, approaching the matchup absolutely correctly. He's just powering up one big Yveltal with a lot of energy. It's going to be hard for Erin to discard that many energy.
Yeah, it is. And particularly, again, without the Slowking to do the heavy lifting, you're relying on this kind of one-time trainers like Crushing Hammer, and they're just going to run out eventually.
Yeah.
Slowking, you get that sort of perpetual mileage out of, but with Garbodor, it's not going to happen.
So
it is possible that maybe she Lysanders up Garb and gets stuck there with paralysis and sleep, but then Michael would have to not draw into a bunch of cards.
And I'm sure Michael plays at least one escape rope. Most Yveltal Garbodor decks do, just for the mirror match to get out of things like Fright Night Yveltal and things like that. So we see a Floatstone on the active Dewgong. Does she find an energy? Doesn't look like it. She's not looking too happy. And she actually has to just retreat to a seal. So really unfortunate for her not to find an energy thus far. I'm not too sure exactly what her count is. We see Michael Trainer's Mail. He sees a Max Elixir there. Debating on whether to play it or not.
Probably won't, because there isn't really anything on his bench that he wants more energy on.
Yeah.
You've got an Yveltal with 5 energy. Probably don't want to overdo it, because there is the risk that maybe eventually that Yveltal EX does actually go down to a series of Dewgongs.
Yeah.
You just lose all your energy that way.
Yeah.
Regardless of any, just energy disruption cards, it just gets knocked out, and you don't want to sort of put all your eggs in one basket if you're Michael.
So that's exactly Michael's thinking, and he chooses not to take it, and he just plays an N. Probably just wants another energy, just to use Oblivion Wing again.
Yeah.
Of course, the more energy he can get back with Oblivion Wing, the better his long-term outlook is. So we'll see. Does he get one, or the way to switch to Yveltal? So he does get a Dark Energy, and he will use Oblivion Wing again. So if you're Erin here, what's your path to victory, Roland? Because you always got to be thinking, how do I win this game?
Yeah, and it just seems like, honestly, it's probably actually getting knockouts with Dewgong.
Yeah.
And more, not necessarily for taking 6 prizes' sake, but just in terms of getting enough energy off the board through this method that you can potentially threaten the deck out at some point. It's going to rely probably on some lucky flips. But yeah, it's possible. Say,
and that's exactly what. Oh, she sees.
Yeah, so we see
enhanced hammer.
an enhanced hammer. So that's really good. That's a positive to see. Say you eventually knock out this Oblivion Wing Yveltal, then Michael sort of stuck with the energy that he has.
Yep.
And then it's possible that
so she paralyzes.
Doesn't have enough energy.
She paralyzes, and Michael just draw passes. So not playing out any unnecessary cards.
So Michael, I think, is going to get ready to pass a lot here.
So she goes again, and another paralysis.
Yeah.
So Michael probably going to do the same, and he does. He passes back to her. So this is what we're talking about, just buying enough time to get the hammers and start discarding all Michael's energy. And eventually taking a knockout, hopefully, on the Oblivion Wing.
You've got to think that eventually that knockout really has to happen in order to prevent it coming back. I'm not sure if Michael plays Super Rod or something like that, which he could potentially use to get it back. That really could be a saving grace from him.
Yeah, I think if he does play Super Rod, then that will be the writing on the wall for Erin.
Quite possibly, but you never know. I mean, it's not drastically unlikely that she can take a sequence of knockouts with Dewgongs. I mean, yes, it takes a long time, but say Michael doesn't play a card like Olympia, so he's only got 1 escape rope. I mean, Michael's still got 6 prizes to take. So I mean, ultimately, if she could just keep streaming Dewgongs over and over again, even if on average before they get knocked out, maybe they're only doing 80 damage, well, that could even eventually be enough.
Yep. So she puts Michael to sleep after flare grunting his active energy. Michael wakes up, and what's he gonna do? He's got another Dark Energy in hand. So he's just checking to see what resources he's used. He versus Seekers, probably for a Lysander. Okay.
And he's going to knock out the Dewgong on the bench because he was going to fall short.
Yep.
With the one at the
And
active. So
this allows him to Oblivion Wing for a prize as well, which is pretty nice.
yeah, and even just taking prizes is good because you might be able to get energy off your prizes.
Yep.
You know, it's probably quite likely that he has some energy prized, and you know, even though a lot of the cards that we'd normally like probably aren't going to be super useful for him, energy is the key resource.
So we see a Super Rod, so no shortage of Dewgongs this game. So Michael playing quite nicely here, conserving his resources, not playing out any unnecessary cards.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing he could do is like just Sycamore and go, oh yeah, why not? You know, I want to see more cards, but yeah, he's very intelligent player, and he's not going to do anything like that.
Or try to dig for his one escape rope or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously you'd like to draw into it sort of organically just by top decking it, but you don't want to draw into it so much that you would risk decking out just to draw into it.
So we see a Versus Seeker here from Erin. She's going to go for another Flare Grunt here. She's just checking what she's used, and she instead opts for a Sycamore.
I mean, the interesting thing is also, say she Flare Grunted, and she could even say force Michael to play a Sycamore in order to draw another energy. Say, like, even if Michael did have more Dark Energy in his deck, which he almost certainly does, you know, in order to draw into them, he might actually have to play these kind of destructive cards, which either discard cards from his hand and deck, and could potentially lead to a deck out later.
Yeah, so we see Erin dive ball for a seal here, just to keep up that stream of Dewgong. And that active, does it have 30 or 40 damage on it? It's a bit hard to tell.
Yes, it is.
40.
I believe it's 40.
Yeah.
I do believe it's 40, yeah.
So Michael just counting how many cards are in each player's deck. Very aware of the game state at all times. Michael, a great player, so doing everything correct, really. And we see a
Pokepuff.
Okay, that's a great card, actually.
It is a great card. So what Captivating Pokepuff does, you don't see it in a lot of decks. It's a very niche card. It works very well in these sort of disruption decks. You look at your opponent's hand, and if they have any basic Pokemon in there, you can choose as many as you like and put them on your opponent's bench. So you force them, essentially, to bench Pokemon. You might think, okay, why is that good? You know, when they want to bench Pokemon anyway, usually, or basic Pokemon. But of course, you know, in this deck, you want sort of Pokemon on your opponent's bench that are not otherwise useful. So either A, to use Slowking, to use Royal Flash to move an energy to. Because of course with this deck, an issue might be that, okay, Royal Flash is great, but what if they just have one attacker active and they're just attacking with that and you have nothing to Royal Flash to? In this case, that's not really an issue because Royal Flash is shut off anyway. What you might be looking for is to Lysander. That benched Yveltal that she's just put down with no energy. Say if Michael doesn't draw a Floatstone, you know, he might have to force double colors to retreat it, or even 2 dark energy. You know, just it's another way of draining resources combined with Lysander.
Absolutely. So really a nice deck choice by Erin here, and I like the text that she's put in to try and maximize her options and potential win conditions for her deck. So I think Captivating Pokepuff, certainly not a card that I was expecting to see, but a great card in this deck. So very smart from Erin, and we'll see what she's going for. She's going for a VS Seeker, possibly for a Flare Grunt, and yep, that's what she does. Discards another energy, and slowly but surely that Oblivion Wing Yveltal is dying. We see it go up to 100 damage now, so just 4 more attacks from the Dewgong and it will go down, and Michael again passes.
It's a slow knockout, but it's a knockout nonetheless.
And there we see another heads, so 120. And she does have a follow-up Dewgong, so if she can somehow get a KO on this Oblivion Wing Yveltal with this Dewgong, and then Michael comes up and knocks it out with the Yveltal EX, she can potentially stall that Yveltal EX with a bunch of energy on it in the active position, and slowly but surely kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even say Lysander that Yveltal on the bench with no energy. But yeah, either way.
But I'm almost certain Michael plays 1 escape rope.
Oh, and he plays the Floatstone down on it. Yeah, absolutely.
So Michael here, what's he gonna do? Does he have the escape rope? Does he have another energy to use Oblivion Wing again?
Yeah, he might even just elect to say, you know, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna let it go down.
Yeah, or a double colorless to retreat. But really, I think if you're Michael, you might want to keep the Oblivion Wing Yveltal around.
Yeah,
It's
possibly.
a pretty good card.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, the question is, say, let's say he had a double colours to retreat.
Yeah.
You know, does he value a double colours more than he does having that ability
to get
attack
back energy?
Yeah.
So Michael just ends here. So there's 5 energy on that Yveltal and 1 to 2 in the discard pile.
Yeah.
So that's 7. So
and some, I believe, 1 or 2 double colours.
Yeah, I think 1 got enhanced hammered. Maybe 1 was discarded at some point. So Yveltal deck generally runs 8 to 9 dark energy. So Michael probably running a bit short on dark energy. So there's the double colours to retreat. So he's choosing to conserve the Oblivion Wing Yveltal, recognizing that some of his energy might get, either the Yveltal will get knocked out or some of his energy might get hammered away. So he Y-Cyclones intelligently onto the Oblivion Wing Yveltal. So
he can use. Yeah, so we can use the.
He'll be able to use Oblivion Wing whenever he wants. So he'll take a prize. And what does Erin do here? I think she just has to try and eventually knock out this big Yveltal with all the energy on it.
It's going to be a long road, but it is doable because again, Michael still has 4 prizes left. You know, if she super rods or uses Brock's Grid or something like that, gets back all these Dewgong. They only need 1 energy to attack, so it's not unreasonable for her to be able to just swarm a bunch of them, and sort of take down this.
Yeah, and then we see a Snake Eyes from the Team Rocket's handiwork. So Team Rocket's handiwork, flip 2 coins for each head, discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and unfortunately for Erin, 2 tails there. So that is one of the cards she uses to help her mill strategy. So, wonder what she's trying to do here. She'll probably just attack and hopefully paralyze Michael, I think. So let's see if she can get her heads this time, and she doesn't. So Michael goes to sleep.
I've been unlucky with flips,
and
Erin,
this is a critical flip here. If Michael can take out this Dewgong, that's Erin's last one on the board, and he does wake up. So that Dewgong will be going down with an Evil Wall. And now Erin really in a spot of bother, because of course this opens the door for Michael, if she ever does bench another seal, just to Lysander it out and knock it out with the Yveltal EX.
Yeah, and Erin doesn't really have a great Lysander target either. So, ideally she might want to say Lysander a Shaman and use Bumblebee to sort of recover a bit or to mill Michael's deck. The problem with that is that Shaman only has 1 retreat.
And Michael,
not sure what
doing some kind of gesticulation.
Yeah, some kind of gang sign. Team Rocket blasting off again. I don't know. Yeah, So it's going to depend on what Erin has in her hand.
And just counting the cards and Michael reshuffling her deck to the way it was, because of course when you count cards like that, the bottom card ends up at the top and top card ends up at the bottom.
Yes.
So Michael identifying that and reordering them to the way they were before. Hello.
Oh yes. Hello.
Hey guys.
We don't have much more to say than that. So we're not the best conversationalists, but
a bit hard, one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see an end here. Or maybe they weren't saying hello to us. Maybe they're saying hello to someone else.
Yeah, possibly.
So shout out to whoever they were saying hello to.
We don't want to block the hello. Yeah. We'll just let it pass through.
So what does Erin do here?
Has an energy. Well, has double colours. Yes, it's interesting. I suppose we haven't really talked about the energy count in a deck. So obviously to attack with Dewgong, you've got to have water energy, and sort of I guess what I might have thought in the beginning is that she probably only plays water energy. But she does play double colours.
Yeah.
And I suppose that is to eventually threaten perhaps that attack with Dewgong that does 100 damage. Maybe she thinks, okay, that's my out against knocking out Garbodor. Because I can stall for so long with Dewgong's first attack that I could ideally build up a second Dewgong with, a water, a double colours and another water. So then I can Lysander up Garbodor, knock it out, and then suddenly I've got Slowking again and I can use Royal Flash. Unfortunately, at the moment, that's not really going to come into play.
Yeah.
But that's probably why she's playing double colours. I mean, there isn't really another reason. I suppose double colours allows you to retreat Bumblebee for 1 energy, but outside of that, it's not. Or
even in a situation where like this, where the opponent stacks a lot of energy onto one Pokemon, that 100 damage can get you a quick 1-hit KO if you've already stacked
exactly.
up the damage
absolutely. So it's for attacking the Dewgong. So I think it is. She does sort of Erin, I think,
She's
builds the deck so it can use that in a second attack of Dewgong.
she's clearly thought a lot about this deck.
Yeah, it's interesting. I must say, the more I see about the deck, the more I like it. And
Yeah.
I think, okay, that's a way of sort of countering something in my head, which I thought, okay, how can I possibly deal with X?
Yeah.
We see potential counter to Garbodor, but unfortunately just wasn't able to swarm those Dewgongs out.
Yeah, so we see an N here. She needs to find a Pokemon, otherwise she will be benched out by Michael. Of course, in Pokemon, if you knock out your opponent's only Pokemon and leave them with no Pokemon left on the field, you win the game. So Erin must find another Pokemon here, otherwise we will be heading to a game 2. Can she do it? She does have an N to 6, so drawing a fair amount of cards.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I wonder how many search cards she plays. So obviously we've seen Dive Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen Level Ball?
I haven't seen Level Ball.
But we have seen Ultra Ball.
We've seen Ultra Ball. I think, I'm not sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure whether we've seen. I'm not sure whether she plays Shaman either. She might elect not to play Shaman and just play, say, Dive Ball and Level Ball. I mean, that's a perfectly acceptable decision. When you're playing a deck that's sort of built on decking your opponent out before you get decked out.
And she scoops, so we're going to game 2.
Just scoops. Unfortunately, doesn't draw into it.
And she's got 2 Seals prize. She shows. Oh, pretty unlucky.
Yeah. I say probably just I feel like an unlucky game for Erin. Yeah, a lot of tails. At times where she probably needed heads, and prizing 2 Seals is.
And she didn't find water energy for quite a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
In the beginning, to be able to attack with Dewgong. So, what do you do from her point of view going into game 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think just do what you were trying to do. I think the key is just going to be able to, if you can just knock out that Garbodor, really the game's yours. You can stall, because of course Michael, he probably plays one Escape Rope, but that's pretty much it. Don't think he plays Olympia. So once you get rid of that Garbodor, you can stall for so long with Dewgong's first attack. That Royal Flash can just do a number on him, and it really is possible that she just runs him out of energy.
Yeah.
So I think that Dewgong definitely has a chance in this matchup. I was initially a bit skeptical. I thought, well, maybe the matchup because of Garbodor and because of Oblivion Wing Yveltal, maybe that's sort of a counter, but I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, and for Michael's part, everything went fairly smoothly there. The Oblivion Wing Yveltal putting in a lot of work. So no doubt he'll probably just be going for the same strategy again, and would like to have 2 Trubbish on the board with Float Stones to stop that potential play on the Garbodor. So he mulligans, and Erin going first here, which is pretty nice from her point of view. So she will hopefully be able to attack with Dewgong turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not super essential like always that you get a fast attack with these sort of slow burn decks, but it's always helpful.
But also to try and stop Michael from getting a whole bunch of Oblivion Wings off.
Absolutely.
Before she can discard the
because of
energy,
course he did start with the last game.
Yeah. So he starts with the Trubbish this game, and she starts with Bunnelby.
Yeah. Also not a bad starter either. Maybe Seal would be slightly advantageous, but using Bunnelby, maybe mill a few cards.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And can just retreat for a Double Colorless or a Float Stone, so not too bad having it in the active spot. So we see a puzzle. So ideally, I think she want to get a Seal and a Slowpoke down on her first turn.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So it takes the puzzle.
She has a Captivating Pokebuff, which is always a good card to see in your first hand. Before your opponent's played any cards.
Yeah, she could say, pick off Shaman, prevent Michael from playing it. Because of course you can't activate setup when it's being played by a Captivating Pokebuff. That could be disruptive, forcing Michael to put down other basics he doesn't want to.
So she Float Stones the Bunnelby. Let's see what she hits off the Pokepuff.
There we go.
There's
that Shaman.
Winner, chicken dinner. So she hits the Shaman, which is pretty nice. I don't think it affects Michael too much.
No. I don't think he was really needing that draw, but it could be relevant.
And she double puzzles for 2 Trainer's Mails. Probably wants a Dive Ball here.
Yeah, interesting. Trainer's Mailing for puzzle and then getting back. But absolutely. I mean, if you need to get something, why wouldn't you double puzzle for your Transmail, get something more?
Especially if you're going to play like a Sycamore or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's literally no reason not to.
Yeah. So there we see the Dive Ball. Probably go for a Seal here or a Slowpoke.
Yeah.
Goes for the Seal. And Michael, for his part, has 2 energy in hand, a Sycamore and an N. So it'll be interesting. He has 1 energy in hand. So and a Max Elixir. So it'll be interesting to see whether he chooses to play the N or the Sycamore. And of course, conserving resources. Sycamore getting a Dark Energy in the discard pile, which he probably doesn't want.
Yeah.
So, and we handiworks again for Two Tails.
Really, really unlucky from Erin.
Yeah. So let's see what Michael does on his turn.
So she didn't have another supporter in hand.
No.
We'll get to end anyway.
Yeah,
so
she gets end anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, actually, that's smart from her. Actually, even if she did have another supporter, she could recognise. Well, Michael's probably going to play an end next turn because I saw his hand.
Yeah.
And given that hand, I don't think he would Sycamore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure if she'd have another supporter, but that's something that could have been a thought process.
So Michael deciding that Dark Energy is far too valuable just to discard in this matchup.
Yeah. Every energy is crucial.
So we'll see if he can get down either the Oblivion Wing or Yveltal EX. So he does Ultra Ball, and I'm sure he will go for an Oblivion Wing Yveltal here. If it's not prized, he goes for a Shaman. Okay. So not sure what else is in his hand. We'll just have to wait and see. He does unfortunately have to discard a Garbodor.
Yeah. So, and that probably means that if Erin can knock out one Garbodor, that's probably going to be it in terms of Garbodors. Although Michael likely plays Super Rock, I think, but you never know for sure.
Yeah.
But that alone isn't necessarily going to guarantee that he could get out another one.
So there we see the Floatstone on the Trubbish, and a Shaman setting up for 3, 4. And what does he get off this? So you feel like he has to retreat the Trubbish here, otherwise risk getting it stuck active.
Yeah, it does, but of course when you evolve you get rid of all special conditions, so it probably is actually the safest.
Better off just to leave it up there.
Yeah, keep Trubbish active. The only issue is that maybe if it sort of accumulates damage, it's a bit easier to knock out with a Lysander and then using Dewgong's first attack. But yeah, setting out Shaman seems like a bit of a risk.
Yeah. And there we see the Oblivion Yveltal. So he discards 2 Fright Knights, which are going to be totally useless.
Yeah, those Fright Knights, so crucial in other matchups, but in ones like these, they're better off in the discard.
Yeah. And he gets a Dark Energy, so he's going to be able to use Oblivion Wing, possibly onto a Shaman. He's got no Dark in the discard.
Didn't actually have any Dark in the discard, and wouldn't have really wanted to.
So we see a Seal and a Bunnelby come down, as well as a Dive Ball. Probably get the Dewgong. And... she's already got a Dewgong down. Apologise. So she fails the Dive Ball, which is interesting. Or did she get the Dewgong off the Dive Ball?
I thought she got the Dewgong. Oh, look, I don't know.
All right.
Maybe I've been hoodwinked, but that was my interpretation.
Obviously, I'm far too tired. Just totally missed that. I'm sure she got the Dive Ball, the Dewgong off Dive Ball, and she puts her Shaman to sleep. A Lysander, and
these flips, they're just yeah. That's about 6 disadvantageous flips in a row. Yeah.
So although unfortunately, Michael unable to
Michael
do
doesn't have anything really.
Yeah. So window of opportunity here for Erin.
Yeah, and it's interesting. That really does give you a window of insight into just how little Michael has.
Yeah.
If he had any energy, say if he had a Dark Energy, well, there's no reason not to retreat it.
Yeah.
And then you could even Oblivion Wing onto it. If you had a double Colossus Energy, you could Sky Return.
Yeah.
Like this, obviously at a supporter, you'd almost certainly play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably sensing that Michael's hand is pretty bad.
But of course, Michael might just be holding something like a double colorless just to Sky Return.
You could be waiting until the last possible, but I wonder why you would wait so long to do it.
Maybe just to draw cards, draw what he wants. Like say another Yveltal EX to put down, so he can Oblivion onto that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Michael's a very smart player.
No, he is. He
and I'm
absolutely is.
sure. And there's no reason for him to rush in this matchup. He's already won game 1.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I just think if you had a double Colossus Energy, you could Sky Return.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really see what the downside of that is.
Yeah, not sure. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. So he parallels. Okay, and so Erin's Dewgong going to be hitting for a whopping 0 damage now, thanks to that Parallel City. So, and we see a Delinquent. So this will be a good insight into Michael's hand. He's got a Delinquent, an Yveltal EX, and didn't quite catch the third card. So we see another flip from the Dewgong and another sleep. So Michael's going to wake up. He does. And there's a float stone. So he's got no dark energy in the discard pile. So we see a max elixir. So that's quite nice for Michael because it means that any discard from Erin will mean that he still has an energy to Oblivion Wing.
Yeah.
If she discards it with like a Flare Grunt or a Crushing Hammer or something, unless she discards both energy, he'll have one energy to Oblivion Wing. So be interesting to see what he retreats the Shaman into. So he does put up the Oblivion Wing Yveltal, and he will Oblivion Wing for 30 damage. And Erin draws an N, and she plays it. Which is...
Yeah, Michael didn't really have much.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of cards that she'd want to draw herself, so...
So we'll see what Erin draws here. We'll see what Michael draws as well. And the Slowpoke comes down, and so does another seal. So she does have her Dugongs out this game. And there we see an escape rope. So Michael has an interesting decision what to send up.
Yeah, so he does send up the Trubbish, possibly signifying that he has a Garbodor or a way to get Garbodor.
Yep. And there we see, so paralyzed. That's it. What does Michael have?
Yeah, so if he had another energy and a Garbodor to evolve, or a switching card, he could even use Darkness Blade, which is Yveltal's second attack. Could knock out that Dewgong.
Yeah. So we see an Ultra Ball from Michael. Discards a Max Elixir and a double Colorless. So we'll be going for that Garbodor probably. Yep, there it is. So he'll be able to retreat and Oblivion Wing this turn. And the longer this game goes on, the more advantageous it is for Michael, having won the first game in a reasonably drawn-up game.
Absolutely. Because of course, if you win game one and if game two doesn't finish, well, then you win on time.
Yeah. So there we see the third energy onto the Yveltal, and he does use Darkness Blade, and he keeps the energy, which is really nice. Of course, Darkness Blade, flip a coin.
Oh no! It doesn't discard. It means you just can't attack.
Can't attack next turn. But yeah. What am I thinking of? The Xerneas.
You are thinking of yes you are.
Yeah.
Although that's guaranteed. You always discard with Xerneas.
So I don't know what I'm thinking of. So we see an N from Erin. And we'll see what she can draw here. I wonder what her strategy is at
so
this
the question
point.
is, can she ever get rid of that Garbodor? It's kind of looking unlikely at the moment. She's had to put a DC out of Bunnelby and...
There's a Crushing Hammer.
Yeah.
She have another one? Yep, she does. There's a Tails. And she attaches to the Dewgong and uses Super Rod, putting back a Dewgong line and an energy.
Yeah, that's so crucial, just being able to swarm Dewgongs, keep them going back to back.
So, and yep, she does choose to attack with the Dewgong. So, she gets her heads there, paralyzing the Oblivion Wing Yveltal. And Michael just passes. And now, is this a situation where you start powering up for that 100 damage attack?
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, the question is, does she have the energy? I think it is. And I think you just really need to get rid of that Garbodor. And if you can, I think it's really, really big.
Yeah. And Michael puts down an Yveltal EX and he max elixirs and hits. And he will be able to Oblivion Wing onto that because of the Crushing Hammer discard. So I think, if I was Erin, I'd definitely be, as you said, trying to rush that second attack and knock out the Garbodor. And then from there, your Slowking can start putting in work along with your Flare Grunts and Hammers. So, but
yeah, it's not the fastest paced game at the moment.
No.
We've seen a lot of decks like that this format that are really just a lot slower.
Yeah.
Things like we've seen kind of almost like some spiritual kind of siblings to this deck, like Raticate sort of versions, and it's sort of kind of like a different take on the same idea. Running your opponent out of energy.
Okay. So we see a Lysander here, and she chooses to go after the Shaman.
Yep. So that Shaman has...
I think it has 100 on it, so it will
okay,
be
yeah,
knocked
so it's
out.
going to be knocking out that Shaman.
Alright, so she goes down to 4 prizes.
Yeah, and possibly even recognising that in order to win the series, she's got to be able to win this quite quickly.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, okay, there's 2 prizes, but how are you going to take the last 4?
Yeah.
It feels like you've really just got to get rid of Garbodor. That's your main sort of target at this point.
And I think, you got it. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because at some point she's going to be forced to knock out that Yveltal, the baby Yveltal, and then the Garbodor, and then she's got to take 2 prizes from somewhere, either off the Yveltal EX and Shaman EX. I think time is her biggest enemy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like if you go for the Garbodor, well, it's just going to take ages to knock it out.
Yeah.
And then even your win condition from that point would also take ages.
Yeah.
But if you knock out the Shaman, well, it just seems like it's just tough. It's basically time is the death of us all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with decks like this, if you lose game 1, you're severely disadvantaged. And we've seen that with Vileplume toolbox decks. And, and
absolutely.
Jolteon
Slow decks kind of have that.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose the flip side is that, well, if you win, you're actually at quite a big advantage because you can make the games take so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think these decks, it just puts more emphasis on the first game.
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of like playing best of 1 series. Whenever you play against sort of a slower, whether it be Dewgong, Slowking, that'll be Hammers, Flagrant, or whether it's against a Raticate build or a Houndoom mill, winning the first game or losing the first game will, at a much higher rate than with most decks, determine the outcome of the series.
So we see Michael just stay asleep during his turn, so he passes back to Erin, who then puts him to sleep again, and he stays asleep. So how many flips can we see go Erin's way? So he wakes up, and there we see her powering up the second attack now.
Yeah.
So this might be her moment.
Even if she could knock out the Yveltal EX,
Yeah.
that benched Yveltal, the Oblivion Wing Yveltal, actually can't knock out a Dewgong,
Yeah.
even with a Fighting Fury Belt. So maybe she could actually just sort of run Michael out of attackers. That's possible, and that's a faster route to victory than anything else I was sort of talking about. It's possible.
So I think now this Yveltal has 60 damage on it.
Yeah, and so Michael, whiffs the sleep flip. So.
And there we see, so
Ooh, yes,
it
just
really
one
needs to
more.
stay asleep or paralyzed for one more turn. Oh, unfortunately it whiffs the paralysis
This
flip.
flip is
This is huge. Oh, and
Tails.
Michael stays asleep,
Yep.
so that Yveltal will be going down next turn. If
Yeah,
Erin
unless he
chooses
has,
an
like,
escape rope.
The fabled escape rope that we haven't seen, the mythical escape rope.
Here we go. The
But-
trainer's mail
Okay,
on
it
top.
does have a trainer's mail.
So he does play it. You see a Fury Belt, so he could put that on just to delay it a bit more.
Yeah,
So-
and Michael probably always knew that, so he
Yeah.
thought, okay, I'm going to wait till the last possible situation,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to get the Fighting Fury Belt.
There's
There's
the
no
Fighting-
point getting it before, but now that it's up to exactly 70 damage, or
80 damage.
80 damage.
And Michael wakes up, so
Yeah.
Erin will need to stall him out for 2 more turns before she can use Dewgong's second attack and knock out the Yveltal EX.
Yeah, and
So-
it's one of those things. It's so risky having those energy on the active
Yeah.
because, well, I mean, actually, funnily enough, it's almost less risky because if Michael draws an escape rope,
Yeah.
she gets to put that to the bench and actually conserve the energy, and that's probably going to be Michael's only out of the special condition. But of course, if there's the 25% chance at the time of him just waking up from sleep, well then, that Dewgong is going to go down along with all the energy and probably all the chances of being able to win this game in a timed format or at all.
Yeah, so she's been flipping a lot of tails. I think she's due for a heads, and she gets it on the Crushing Hammer. So I don't know if that's super relevant.
No, because yeah. I think with one more energy discard, it could be relevant.
Yeah.
But 2 energy is all that Michael needs because
Yeah.
again, that Dewgong is filled with energy. So
yeah. So might have been tempted to maybe take it off the Oblivion Yveltal and prevent that Darkness Blade play.
yeah, possibly.
And this is another big flip.
Yeah, you probably would want to do it off the bench because you think your only way of winning is to knock out this Yveltal.
Yeah.
If that managed to survive it and knock you out, well, then you probably lost the game anyway.
Yeah.
You may as well just put all your emphasis on trying to get that win that way.
Definitely. So this is a big flip here. We see a puzzle.
Yeah, so using the first effective puzzle, I believe.
Mm.
Or was it a double? No, I think it was just...
I think she used 2 at the start for 2 trainers' mails, didn't she?
Yeah, but she could theoretically have 2 left.
So,
So I was wondering if she was looking at the top cards of her deck because she did a similar thing and got trainers' mails back and was looking at the top. But no, using the first effective puzzle to rearrange the top 3 cards, so she'll probably have something good for next turn. But yeah, her deck's running pretty thin, as is Michael's. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not a scientific process looking at how many cards are in someone's deck, unless you count them as was done before.
I'm not sure what they're debating. Time may have been called, and they might be debating whether Erin can actually take 4 prizes in 3 turns, or something like that. Otherwise, there's no reason.
2 of her turns.
There's no reason
I
not
think
to
the
just
answer
attack.
to that is going to be no.
Yeah, unless she plays like a Giovanni's to. No.
I
don't know.
Giovanni's.
Okay, so I must have missed a flip or something. Did she hit the Yveltal for 100 damage, and then get knocked out?
Yeah, quite possibly. So quite possibly. And then now you're gonna follow up with
So not risking the play where she might put him to sleep and Michael wakes up and then knocks her out. Yeah. So she just puts 100 damage on straight up.
And obviously being cognizant of time, but if time was called on that turn, this would be turn 2 and this would be Erin's last turn.
Yeah, but it may or may not have been. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Wait and see.
That's the beauty of not knowing.
So we see a hammer and a tails. Potentially irrelevant flip there if Michael didn't have any energy. And she puts she paralyzes him. So so
it was time.
I think time was called. So
so an unfortunate sort of situation there where the game wouldn't have finished. The game didn't finish. It would have been interesting to see how the game would have gone had it lasted. I think Erin had a absolutely legitimate chance of winning that.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Well played to both players. Well played to Michael. I believe he ended up 4th at this tournament. Securing some championship points for the season. Thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button if you like, and always appreciate feedback in the comments section. So that's all the action we have for you from this Geelong League Challenge. Stay tuned. We'll have
the Box Hill League Challenge.
Box Hill League Challenge.
And shout out again to the Box Hill store. Fantastic event. Can't say it enough. It was really well run.
Absolutely. Definitely one of the best events that have been run in Australia in my time here, at least. Congratulations to them. And stay tuned for more videos. Thanks, guys. Bye.